There we go. Fixed it. We fixed it. This video, I actually surprisingly have not seen this video before. I am very excited. Shork actually recommended this video. We are going to watch the history of Japan. I know a fair bit about Japan, but definitely not enough. So I figured this would be a fun video to jump into. Educational and also fun. All right. Let's jump into it.
Japan is an island by the sea filled with volcanoes, and it's
It is so
in
beautiful.
the year -1 billion, Japan might not have been here. In the year -40,000, it was here, and you could walk to it, and some people walked to it. Then it got warmer, some icebergs melted, it became an island, and now there's lots of trees, because it's warmer. So now there's people on the island, they're basically sort of hanging out in between the mountains, eating nuts off trees, and using the latest technology, like stones and bowls. Ding dong, it's the outside world, and they have technology from the future, like really good metal and crazy rice farms. Now you can make a lot of rice really quickly. That means if you own the farm, you own a lot of food, which is something everybody needs to survive.
We do like
So
food.
that makes you king. Rice farming and rice kingdoms spread across the land,
That
all the way
makes
to
you
here.
king.
The most important kingdoms were here, and here. But this one was the most important, ruled by a heavenly super person, or emperor for short. Knock knock, get the door, it's religion. The new prince wants everyone to try this hot new religion from Biekt. Please try this religion, he said. No, said everybody. Try it, he said. No, said everybody again, quieter this time. And so the religion was put into place, and all the rules that came with it. Then
No,
the government
but
was taken over
have it
by another
anyways.
clique, and they made some reforms, like making the government govern more, and making the government more like China's government, which is a government that governs more. Hi, China, they said. Hi, Dick, said China. Can you call us something
Hi,
else? Said Japan. Like what? Said China. How about Sunrise Land? Said Japan.
Sunrise Land.
And they stole China's alphabet and wrote a book about themselves. And then they made lots of poetry and art and another book about themselves. Then they stopped moving the capital every time the emperor died and kept it in one place for a while, right here. And they conquered the north finally. Get that squared away. A rich hipster named Kukai is bored with modern Buddhism, visits China, and learns a better
Rich
version,
hipster.
which is more spiritual. Comes back, reinvents the alphabet, and causes art and literature to be great for a long time. And the royal palace turned into such a dream world of art that they really didn't give a about running the country. So if you live outside the palace, how are you supposed to protect your from criminals?
I will say, after visiting Japan quite a few times now, the artwork throughout their temples, just seeing how their temples and architecture is built is insane, especially coming from a very new city. I mean, like Canada in general is a lot newer, but my city too is quite new. There's not much history. Everything looks the same here. And then you travel to somewhere like Japan, somewhere in Asia. It's night and day. It's so crazy to see the difference in their history, in architecture and everything. But one of my favorite things to do while I'm in Japan is just to walk through every temple I see. Most of the times I feel like you can't walk further than like 2 blocks without coming across a temple, even if it's just a little one hidden away on the side of a street. But they're all so unique and so amazing. I absolutely love it. Yeah, Japan has some of the iconic locations and buildings in history. They're fantastic. It's actually incredible. And one thing I really love is that it's so interesting because Japan is so modern, but also they hold on to their history and their culture a lot. And it's a really cool mix to see. And you can tell there's certain things they're not willing to let go of, because you'll be walking down the street and you're seeing all these modern skyrise buildings one after the other, and then all of a sudden there's just a break in all these tall buildings and you see a tiny little temple, and they just keep it there and they preserve it. And I love that. I think that's so amazing, and I think it's so important as well that they don't let that kind of get ripped away. Even though they are quite modern and they're making a lot of advancements, they hold on to that history and culture, which is really important and really amazing. I've watched the history of the entire world, I guess, a few times while I was in school, and I've taken a lot of history classes. This guy did his homework. I have seen a few of his videos. I don't think I've actually seen this one before, but I like his videos. They're very fast-paced, though. They're like, you gotta keep up with them, you know? Some are burning temples in Japan. Wait, really? I haven't heard about this. When did this start happening? Do you know, is it like locals or is it like tourists? That is very upsetting to hear, though. That's actually insane. Why would anybody do something like that? I don't understand. All right, let's jump back in.
Hire a samurai. Everyone started hiring samurai.
Hell yeah, samurai.
Poor people who could not afford to hire samurai did not hire samurai. The samurai became organized and powerful, more powerful than the government. So they made their own military government. Here,
The shogun.
they let the emperor still be emperor, but the shogun is actually in control. Breaking news. The Mongols have invaded China,
We've invaded China.
said the Mongols.
Please respect us, or else we might invade you as well.
Okay, said Japan. So the Mongols came over, ready for war, and died in a tornado. But they tried again and had a nice time fighting with the
And
Japanese,
died in
but
a
then died in
tornado.
a tornado. Then the emperor the
Quiet.
shogunate. Then the shogunate overthrows him back and moves to Kyoto and makes a new shogunate. And the emperor can still dress like an emperor if he wants. That's fine. Now there's more art, like painting with less.
Okay, wait, that's actually kind of crazy. Did they actually go over with the intent to fight and they were wiped out twice by tornadoes? That's kind of wild, but also very lucky, I suppose, for Japan. Died in a tornado. Hurricanes, but yes, that's wild. Imagine, but I mean, also, I guess that's a win. Both times they attempted to wage war, they were killed by weather. Well, weather was on Japan's side, okay? Home advantage. Here, listen, we know how our weather works here, okay? All right, well, all right. Jumping back in.
Colors, collaborative poetry, plays, monkey fun, tea parties, gardening, architecture,
fun.
flowers. It's time for who's going to be the next shogun. Usually it's the shogun's kid, but the shogun doesn't have a kid, so he tries to get his brother to quit being a monk and be the next shogun. He says okay, but then the shogun has a kid. So now who's it going to be? Vote now on your phones. And everyone voted so hard that the palace caught on fire and burned down. The shogun actually didn't care. He was off somewhere doing poetry. And the whole country broke into pieces.
Wait. That's that's kind of wild. Shogun didn't have a kid, convinced his monk brother to become the next shogun, which is, I feel like, is just wild in itself. Like, hey, you want to stop being a peaceful monk and come be the leader of the shogun instead? Ah, yeah, okay, why not? Oh, wait, just kidding. I had a kid, actually. That's kind of crazy. Well, at some point, if I were the Mongolians, I would be like, well, that's a sign. I don't go to Tornado Island anymore. That's true. They didn't get the picture, but the weather made sure they understood the assignment. I think Japan's weather is my tempo for weather. Wait. I thought you didn't like really hot weather. Am I misremembering that? I think Japan's weather is my tempo 70% of the year. But as soon as it hits June, July, August, count me out. I don't want to be anywhere near Japan. Now, that being said, you could probably go to the north in the summer and it wouldn't be as bad. But it is like, when I used to live there, it was crazy. Once like the end of spring hit and you started creeping into summer, it was so hot. I would walk outside and instantly just be drenched. It was humid, it was hot, it was awful. It was awful. Winters and springs are amazing, but I don't know. I mean, your body adjusts, it acclimates, but even then sometimes I think about it because I do miss Japan and I'm like, could I ever live there again? I'm like, I don't know if I'd want to be there in the summers is the problem. Humid hot is the worst. It's awful. I hate walking outside and instantly being wet. Who wants that? Who designed that weather? I live in a hot state, so it might not affect me as much. Probably not. Like, it is more similar. You're so Canadian. I was born in the cold. Of course I like the cold. I mean, I don't mind it. When you grow up and you're raised with a certain climate, I feel like you just get used to it, Okay, back in it we go. Japan is divided.
Everyone is fighting with each other for local power, and it's anybody's game. Knock, knock. It's Europe.
Chaos.
No, they're not here to take over. They just want to sell some, like clocks and guns
Like
and
clocks.
cheese. So that's cool,
perfect.
but everyone's still fighting each other for control,
So
now
that's
with
cool.
guns. And wouldn't it be nice to control the capital, which right now is puppets, with no one controlling them? This clan is ready to make a run for it, but first they have to trample this smaller clan, which is in the way. Surprise, the smaller clan wins, and the leader of that clan steals the idea of invading the capital and invades the capital. And it goes very well. He's about halfway through conquering Japan when someone who works for him kills him, and then someone else who works for him kills them.
Oh,
And that
no.
guy finishes conquering Japan.
Betrayal.
And then he confiscated everybody's swords and made some rules. And now I'm going to invade Korea and then hopefully China, he said, and failed, and also died. But before he died, he told these 5 guys to take care of his
Failed, and
5-year-old
also
son
died.
until he's old enough to be the next ruler of Japan. And the 5 guys said, yeah, right, it's not going to be this kid, it's going to be one of us, because we're grown-ups. And it's probably going to be this guy, who happens to be way more rich and powerful than the others. A lot of people support him, but a lot of people support not supporting him. They have a fight, and he wins, and starts a new government, right here. And he still lets the emperor dress like an emperor, and have very nice things. But don't get confused, this is the new government, and they are very strict. So strict they close the country. No one can leave, and no one can come in. Except for the Dutch, if they want to buy and sell. But they have to do it right here. Now that the
Okay.
entire country was not at war with itself,
Just
the
the
population increased a lot. business increased, schools were built, roads were built, everyone learned to read,
Nice,
books were
nice.
published, there was
Literacy,
poetry,
we love
plays,
it.
sexy times, puppet shows, and
Sexy
Dutch studies.
times.
People started to study
Aye.
European science from books they bought from the Dutch. We're talking geography, skeletons, physics, chemistry, astronomy, and
We
maybe even
learning.
electricity.
We
Over
learning.
time, the economic and cultural prosperity began to gradually slow down. Knock, knock. It's the United States, with
Oh,
huge
no.
boats, with guns. Gunboats. Open
Gunboats.
the country. Stop having it be closed, said the United States. There's really nothing they could do, so they signed
Stop
a
having
contract
it
that
be
lets the
closed.
United States, Britain, and Russia visit Japan anytime they want. Choshu and Satsuma hated this. That sucks, they said. This sucks. And with almost very little outside help, they overthrew the shogunate and somehow made the emperor again and moved him to Edo, which they renamed Eastern Capital. They made a new government, which was a lot more Western. They made a new constitution that was pretty Western, and a military that was pretty Western. And do you know what else is Western? That's right, it's conquering stuff. So what can we conquer? Korea. They conquer Korea, taking it from its previous owner, China,
Damn.
and then go a little bit further. And Russia rushes in out of nowhere and says, "Stop, no, you can't take that. We were going to build a railroad through here to try to get some warm water." And Russia builds their railroad, supervised by a ton of soldiers.
Water.
And then when the railroad was done, they downgraded to a ton. Did I say downgrade? I meant upgrade. And Japan says, "Can you maybe chill?" And Russia says, "How about maybe you chill?" Japan
you
is kind
maybe
of scared
chill,
of Russia.
please?
You'll never guess who's also kind of scared of Russia. Great Britain. So Japan and Great Britain make an alliance together so they can be a little less scared of Russia. Feeling confident, Japan goes to war against Russia, just for a moment, and then they both get tired and stop. It's time for World War I. The world
Both
is
get
about to
tired and
have a
stop.
war because it's the 1900s and weapons are getting crazy, and all these empires are excited to try them out on each other. Meanwhile, Japan has been enjoying conquering stuff and wants more. And the next thing on their list is this part of China
Give me
and lots of
more.
tiny islands. All that stuff belongs to Germany, which just had war declared on it by Britain because Britain was friends with Belgium, which was being trespassed by Germany in order to get to France to kick France's ass because France is friends with Russia, who was getting ready to kick Austria's ass because Austria was getting ready to kick Serbia's ass because someone from Serbia shot the leader of Austria's ass. Or
Oh, no.
actually shot him in the head. And Britain is currently friends with Japan, so you know what that means. Duh, Japan should take the islands. Which they wanted to do anyway, so they called Britain on the telly to sort of let them know.
On the telly.
And then they did it. And they also helped Britain a little here and there with some errands and stuff. Now the war is over, and congratulations, Japan. You technically fought in the war, which means you get to sit at the negotiating table with the big dudes, where they decided who owns what. And yes, Japan gets to keep all that they stole from Germany. You also get to join the
Great.
post-war mega alliance, the League of Nations, whose mission statement is to try not to take over the world. The Great Depression is bad,
mission
and Japan's economy is now crappy, but the military is doing just fine, and it invades Manchuria. And the League of Nations is like, "No, don't do that. If you're in the League of Nations, you're not supposed to take over the world." And Japan said, "How about I do?"
I have to pause. I wish this is how people actually said it when they were negotiating politics. No, don't do that. You can't do that. That's bad. I feel like things would be so much more lighthearted if everybody just approached it this way. Ah, yes, skeletons, my favorite science. In hindsight, back then, perhaps Russia has been stronger than Japan because of their tech and weapons or something. I mean, that's like... I mean, you see that all throughout history and the world. It's so many... Almost like it showed earlier in this video. I don't remember the names, but the one section wanted to go take over Kyoto, and they're like, well, we have to go through this other smaller, little section to do that. And then the smaller sector won. Oftentimes, it can come down to their technology, their weapons, how they're trained. If you have 100 soldiers who are poorly trained versus 50 soldiers who are trained very well, good chance that the smaller people, the smaller group may win, I mean, someone's bad in politics could be someone's good. That's true. Yeah, it is very complicated. Very, very, very complicated indeed. It does suck. It does. All right. Let's jump back in. We're almost done.
And Japan invaded more and more and more and more of China, and was planning to invade the entire East.
You've got mail.
It's from Germany, the new leader of Germany. He has a cool mustache, and he's trying to take over the world and needs friends. This also got
mustache,
forwarded
yeah.
to Italy.
Mhm.
They all decided to be friends because they had so much in common. It's time for World War II. Germany is invading the neighbors. Then they invade the neighbors' neighbors. Then the neighbors' neighbors' neighbors, who happened to be Britain, said, "Holy And the United States started helping Britain because they are good friends, and started not helping Japan because they're friends and our friends are not friends. Plus they're planning on invading the entire ocean. The United States is also working on a large, very huge bomb, bigger than any other bomb, ever. Just in case. But they still haven't joined the war. War looks bad on TV, and the United States is really starting to care about their image. But then Japan spits on them in Hawaii and challenges them to war. And they say yes. And then Germany, as a symbol of friendship, declares war on the United States also. So the United States goes to war in Europe, and they help the gang chase Germany back into Germany. And they also start chasing Japan back into Japan. And they haven't used the bomb yet and are curious to see if it works, so they drop it on Japan. They actually drop 2.
I like that he makes it comedic, but it's also sad. It's like I don't want to laugh, but he makes his videos entertaining, and I feel very conflicted about that.
United States installed a new government, inspired by the United States government, with just the right ingredients for a post-war economic miracle. And Japan starts making TVs, VCRs, automobiles, and camcorders as fast as they can, and also better than everybody else. They get rich, and the economy goes wild, and then the miracle wears off. But everything's still pretty cool, I guess. Bye!
Everything's still pretty cool, I guess. Oh my goodness. Well, okay, that was quite educational. I learned some things I didn't know. History of the Entire World is the funniest thing I've ever watched. Okay, I'll add it to my watch list for next time then. All right, let me get swapped back over here. Let's get swapped back over here. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for watching the History of Japan with me. Next week we'll watch the History of the World.